In today's eye-opening guide, we're going to reveal the key to managing your type 2 diabetes like a pro, so you can take control of your health and live a life full of vitality. And so the way type 2 diabetes occurs is within our body we have an organ called the pancreas, and the pancreas creates insulin, and insulin is super important in helping the sugar and the glucose in our blood transition from inside the blood into our cells, and then we can use that as energy. And so the insulin is the key to the door that opens the front door and allows the glucose to go through. So without insulin, the door wouldn't be open, and the glucose and the sugar in our blood wouldn't be able to get into our cells. So insulin is super important. And so with type 2 diabetes, often our body becomes resistant to insulin. The insulin no longer opens the front door, but our body's still producing the insulin. The pancreas thinks that if I just keep producing more and more and more, hopefully one of the insulin molecules will hopefully open the front door. But what happens is eventually they can't keep producing more, and it becomes tolerant, and it starts producing less and less and less, which provides less insulin and less keys to the door. And so eventually our glucose can't get into the cells and be used as energy as effectively as before, because there's not enough insulin anymore. The pancreas stops producing it. And another side effect is that all this insulin that's getting produced can also cause damage to the blood vessels. And the blood vessels, when they're damaged, can catch other particles, and this can build up and cause plaque buildup, which eventually can cause blood clots and things like that. Now, the good thing about type 2 diabetes is that exercise can be really beneficial for people that have type 2 diabetes. And the reason for that is because during exercise, our muscles are working, so they're contracting. And when that muscle's working, it's going to start getting hungry and it wants some food to eat. And the quickest form of food from our bodies is glucose, which is the energy in our blood. It's super easy to just grab a hold of. It's like the quick snack our muscles can start using because they need energy quickly when they're working. And so our muscles have adapted, and they've created what's called a GLUT4 transporter. And so this is within our cells, and it goes up to the top of the cell, and it's a protein. And so what it does is it acts as a channel, and it allows the glucose in the blood to get transported into the channel, into the cells. So it's like a back door that all this glucose can go through. So now that the insulin wasn't working and the front door, the keys weren't working to the front door, so the GLUT4 transporters act as the back door. And so now the sugar in our blood has got a second door that it can go through to get into the cells and be used as energy for the muscles. Now, one of the signs of type 2 diabetes is an increase in blood sugar levels. That's how most people get diagnosed with diabetes. And so what happens during exercise is that amount of sugar in our blood gets reduced, because now it's got somewhere to go. It's got a place to go into the cells through the GLUT4 transporter, or the back door. And so now the sugar levels are going to start reducing because they're going into the cells and being used as energy, which is going to help with maintaining our health. And so if we do exercise regularly, this adaptation that's occurred where the blood sugar levels are reduced during exercise because they've got a place to go, it's going to become an adaptation. And the muscles are going to continuously get better at using this GLUT4 transporter, or the back door, as a place to get glucose from the blood into the cells. And so if you keep doing this, your body's going to get better at using the sugar from the blood during exercise, the amount of blood sugar levels is going to get reduced, which is going to help with our type 2 diabetes. Now, there are two categories of exercises that are recommended for people with type 2 diabetes. The first is cardio exercise or aerobic exercise, and the second is strength or resistance exercises. Now, we know that exercise is beneficial because our muscles start working, and our working muscles leads to an increase in GLUT4 transporters going to the cells, and they're the back door, and that's going to reduce our blood sugar levels, because now the sugar, or the glucose, has a place to get into the cell to be used as energy. So we're going to start doing aerobic exercise or cardio exercise, and you want to try aim for about 150 minutes a week. That can be 30 minutes a day of walking up steps, going cycling, swimming, doing some sort of activity where we're moving our whole body. You might want to go running if you enjoy that, but we want to be out of breath almost, where we can't really maintain a conversation when we're doing the exercise. So often that's going to be doing cardiovascular exercise. Now the next type of exercise is resistance exercise. This is going to be stuff that people do at the gym, where we use resistance bands or machines or dumbbells. And so we want to be doing this types of exercises targeting each major muscle group. So our legs are a major muscle group, our arms are a major muscle group, our back's a major muscle group, and also our core and our chest are a major muscle group. So during your workout, you want to do an exercise that targets your legs, you want to do an exercise that targets your arms, an exercise that targets your back, and an exercise that targets your chest. So we're working each major muscle group. And once you've figured out which exercise you want to be doing, and you've figured out maybe 4 to 7, 8 exercises you want to do in your workout, you want to figure out how many times you want to do each exercise. So we're going to start off with 8 reps, doing 2 sets with a 1 to 2 minute break in between. And then gradually, the recommendation is 8 to 12 reps. So you want to build up to 12 reps starting at 8, then doing 2 to 3 sets. So starting off at 2 sets if you're just starting out, building our way up to 3 sets of an exercise, 3 rounds, and having 1 to 2 minute break in between each set. Now you want to try be doing resistance exercises 2 days a week, gradually also building up to 3 days a week. Now if you're just starting out your exercise program, it's best to have a professional, someone that's experienced, that can show you the ropes, teach you how to do the exercises, tell you which exercise is going to be the most beneficial to you, and how you can progress these exercises. So work with an exercise physiologist, and they usually specialize in different healthcare conditions. So they might specialize in diabetes and they know all about it, what's going to be beneficial to you, which exercises are the best, and they'll demonstrate and hold your hand and teach you everything you need to know about how to exercise properly and how to also do it safely as well, which is the most important thing. Now, I hope in today's video you learned a bit more about what type 2 diabetes is, how it happens, what's the benefit of exercise for people that have type 2 diabetes, and what exercise you should be doing and how you can start implementing that into your daily routine. Trying to do 150 minutes of aerobic exercise each week and 2 days a week, working up to 3 days a week with strength exercise. Now, I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, please subscribe, and I'll see you again in the next video.